ॐ नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। शुद्धस्फटिकसङ्काशं शुद्धविद्याप्रदायकम् शुद्धं पूर्णं चिदानन्दं सदाशिवमहं भजे। कर्पूरगौरं करुणावतारं संसारसारं भुजगेन्द्रहारं सदा वसन्तं हृदयारविन्दे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि। ॐ जननीं शारदां देवीं रामकृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयोः श्रित्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। हरिः ಓಂ. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. Today's Chintan or talk is about the ensuing Maha-Shivaratri next Sunday. As a preamble to that, we thought we shall have thought process starting 1 week so that we can continue to be the same thought of Mahashiva. Mahashiva doesn't mean only Shiva, and he says Shiva is Shakti going to that. That's why in Kalidasa's Vamsha Prarthana Shloka itself starts with Vagartha Viva Sampruktau Vagartha Pratipattaye Jagataha Pitarau Vande Parvati Parameshwarau. Like any sound we utter, in whichever language it is, every walk has a meaning. So walk and its meaning can never be separated, so much so we cannot separate Shiva and Shakti, or Ishvara and Parvati, the Parvati and Parameshwara. So keeping that in mind, then we should try to explore some of the tattvas behind this Shiva, Shakti, or Parvati, Parameshwara, and this auspicious Maha-Shivaratri, um, a celebration or festival or the all of practice we are going to have. Before that, to start with, we should keep in mind a little bit about the glorious and spiritual land called Bharat, the land of gods and goddesses, and Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma implies that we accept both God with which is immanent as well as transcendent. Immanent God means God with form. Transcendent means God without form. God without form could be with attributes, whereas God with form is always with form plus attributes. So we have to keep that in mind. Most of the cases when we do puja, either in temple or at house, either it's a picture or image or any kind of imagination we have, it follows both nama and rupa. Whereas the reality lies, according to Vedas and Vedanta, the real highest reality is without form. Okay, we should have this in our background, and also we also be prepare ourselves to get going with this. We are going actually with that. We do worship of God in forms, in the form of maybe image or pictures with the appropriate details, and also we meditate on the formless God. So, if you look at India's parampara, India is not just a land of geographical boundaries like any other countries. You just see for a moment, north to south, we have Himalaya, the Kailash to Kanyakumari. Similarly, west to east is Somnath to Kamakhya, all pervading Shiva Shakti. So Shiva Shakti is the one that pervades the whole area. It's not just limited to this land of India. Throughout the creation is that. Whereas within India, we consider this Shiva as the supreme being with its own power called Shakti. It is like something like, milk and its whiteness, or serpent, it's its movement. One is static, another is moving. So several examples can be given. Now, before we try to understand the importance of Maha-Shivaratri, its significance and how the puja and it is celebrated throughout India, it is important to note that we are so limited to talk about this subject. This is clear from, perhaps all of you heard about Shiva Mahimna Stotra, which is very, much followed as well as chanted in North India, so much, not so much in South. That Shiva Mahimna Stotra starts itself with a stoka, Asita Giri Samam Sat Kanjalam Sindhu Patre Surataru Varashakha Lekhani Patramurvi Likhati Yedi Gruhitva Sharada Sarvakalam Tadapi Tava Guna Amisha Param Nayati. So the meaning of this is, if perhaps you have not fully heard the meaning of this sloka, I assume you heard the sloka itself. The meaning goes like this: if you were to use the Asita Giri, that mountain, and that as the ink pot, and with the ink pot as the Sindhu, now create the ink with the ink pot, and the branches of all the celestial trees are used as the pen, and earth itself as the leaf to write, and the goddess Saraswati, the goddess of learning, keep on writing for all the time, till she would not be able to read the virtues of Shiva or qualities of Lord Shiva. So the magnitude of the dimensions of Shiva, and that goes with Shiva, Shakti. So that being the case, you can imagine an ordinary immortal like me or anybody trying to understand and say, and I understood everything about Shiva and Shakti, it doesn't stand for any reason. So you should keep that in mind. With that, so-called humility, we should start exploring the meaning of Shiva and Shakti celebrations. Now, coming to uniqueness of Maha-Shivaratri itself, see, we have plenty of festivals in India, Hindu festivals. Majority of them could be put around 40 to 45. And among this, Maha-Shivaratri is uniquely designated as preeminent Mahavrata, the great vow. It is slightly different from other festivals like Deepavali or Dasara, where people meet together and enjoy. This comes under the class of a vrata, a sort of imminent tapas kind of thing. And we have every month this Maha-Shivaratri, the same day as Chaturdashi of Krishna Paksha of every month. Whereas the one that falls in the Magha, month of Magha, is called Maha-Shivaratri for various reasons. Now we'll try to look at some Pauranic mythological events that have happened, which came to be, which tell us, indicate that this particular day of Magha Masa is to be celebrated as Maha-Shivaratri. So once there was a time when creator Brahma and Vishnu got into a sort of a dialogue between them to prove who is better in terms of the possessing supremacy and kind of thing. So Brahma said to Vishnu, I am superior too, because if there is no creation by me, what you are going to have this so-called Palana Sthiti. So I am superior to you. Vishnu says, if I don't take care of your creation, what is the use of your creation itself? So like this, he kept on counterpoints, etc. It went on for a long time. And finally, when they were going on, in between them rose a big pillar. It is a pillar of fire, a pillar of light, which covered earth and the heavens. Now a voice came, okay, between you, why do you keep calling like this? Let me give a test. Whoever finds my tip or the bottom first, he will be superior to the other. So to take up this challenge, Brahma used his swan as the vehicle, kept on going upwards, and he went, flew for hours and days. And he could not, he got tired. As he was doing that, he saw one flower coming from the upper part of the top of the pillar. That is called Nigel flower. And it said, why are you taking so much of trying to go to see the tip? I have seen that. You just go and report you have seen the tip. So that you will stand, your supremacy is established. Okay, Brahma was tired. He thought, okay, that's a good solution. He started coming down, came down and told, I have seen your tip, the origin. On the other hand, here, Vishnu, he knew perhaps it cannot be explored. Still, it took the form of boar, kept on going down to see the other end of that pillar of light. And he was also tired after a long journey. Then he came back and told, sorry, I have failed in my effort. I'm not able to find out this beginning. Now this voice came, Vishnu, you are a truthful person. You stand out between you two, whereas Brahma has lied. Since he has lied, I will curse him. That said, that he will not be honored in terms of the pujas, either a temple or in the form of a temple anywhere on earth. Whereas, so also that flower which told asked him to tell lie. And on the other hand, Vishnu, he blesses, telling him there will be plenty of temples throughout on the earth. You will be worshipped as maybe four-handed, whatever that, in the different forms of Vishnu. So this is one of the things, incidences from mythology, and that happened to be the day of Maha-Shivaratri, and that is the time from when Shiva was started to be worshipped on earth in the form of Shiva Lingam. Perhaps all of you know that Shiva's puja nowhere is done in human form for Shiva. Jyotirlingas. And supposed to be that all the Jyotirlingas should have came into being on this particular day. This is one of the beliefs. This is one. Second one is uh, Hala. All of you know that churning of the um, mount with Samudra Matana to get Amrita. There is two sides, one side representing gods and other side the Rakshasas. And this went on for several days. And what came of the churning was the deadly poison kind of thing. And all of you perhaps you know this story. Nobody could save the earth but for Shiva, who was prayed for from both the parties. And Shiva appeared there and took that hala and drank it. In the sense, Shiva is supposed to have the 14 worlds inside as well as the world outside. If he had completely taken it in, the lives inside would have got erased. So he held the poison in his throat. So that day onwards, he became blue-throated one, that is a Neelakantha, or Vishakantha also is another name for this Shiva. That's how it came. That day also happened to be this Maha-Shivaratri day. And this night also, this Maha-Shivaratri night also marks the culmination of the penance of Parvati, daughter of Himavat, and her marriage to Shiva. So theologically, this represents the integration of Purusha and Prakriti, union necessary for manifestation of the universe. And even today in the South Indian and most of the temples in India, throughout night, puja go on. And also this at the end of the puja, Shiva Parvati wedding also takes place every year. Another important thing that as proof of the Maha-Shivaratri's indication is that cosmic dance of Shiva that is called Ananda Tandava, which became the origin of language, the Devanagari, Sanskrit. At the request of gods, Shiva performed Ananda Tandava. At the end of his dance, he struck his damaru 14 times. And each time, a particular sound came, and that formed the basis for Maheshwara Sutras, as they are called. That became the basis for Panini's Sanskrit grammar. So Maha-Shivaratri commemorates the day as divine language as gifted to the world by Maha-Shiva. And imagine if that thing had not happened, where could have been a whole scriptures basis of our Sanatana Dharma, right from Vedas till today. So that is a wonderful thing that happened, and the contribution to Shiva, a contribution of Shiva to the world for the humanity. And also you can imagine the next one is perhaps some people say, I don't know what is really stands to reason. There is a hunter called Lubzaka. And he, as usual, went for the whole day. At the end of the day, he was so tired he could not get any prey. So sunsetting was approaching. He decided to spend the night to escape from the animals of the forest. Before he did that, he filled his leather bag with water. He went up a tree and spent the whole day. What happened was, right from morning, he had no food. That means he had done what is called upvasa. Then, because did not have food, he could not sleep in the night. And as he was, he tied himself to a branch of the tree. He kept moving to the left, right, etc. And also, as he did, the water kept on dropping on, along with the leaves of the tree, which happened to the Vilva tree. Continued till the morning, and morning when he came down the tree, suddenly these from Shiva Ganas came from Kailas and asked him to come to he now is qualified to go to the Kailas. So he took him to Kailas. So the story illustrates that Shiva's grace is available even to those who worship him unintentionally without any pomp. There is no mantra here, no tantra, no puja krama in this. So that's how, for a common man, is a very important thing it is, a story. So that is how the upvasa fasting is one of the parts of the celebrating the Maha-Shivaratri. Now, let us look at the 6 limbs of Maha-Shivaratri, what all the things that one has to follow are being followed. The most important of the 6 limbs is the Abhisheka. Shiva is known as Abhisheka Priya, whereas Vishnu is known as Alankara Priya. And there is a meaning of all these 6 contents which are there. We are going to discuss in a little more detail. One is Abhisheka with Ganges, or see, Ganges, one essence is there. In India, whatever be the source of the water, we call it as Ganges. See, for example, when we sit for puja, we have we have pure water from whichever source could be. Nowadays in cities only it is from the tap. We invoke Ganges and all other seven rivers: Gange, Chemune, Cheva, Godavari, Saraswati, Narmade, Sindhu, Kaveri. All these rivers we invoke in that. So that's how it is. The general name for that Abhisheka water is Ganga. Then that is one part. Second part is Archana. Archana with different types of flowers. Most important of the two of the flowers is for Shiva, it is Bilva, and it is Tulsi for Vishnu. And of course, flowers could be of any combinations. And you will see the, little bit of what you call spiritual implications of this, or metaphysical implications of these 6 items later, as said in Bhagavad Gita. Then, to keep our senses under control, because the puja is done in the night, which starts at 6 o'clock in the evening. Maybe next week this is going to start around this time. So, whole day night puja. That means you can't do the puja with full vigil or full attention of the mind, with full stomach pull. So you have to resort to what is upvasa, the fasting, with maybe a limited kind of fluids you can take, depending on the person's ability to do things. And along with this, maybe right from today, right from now, we have to start what is called japa. That means to be aware of the coming event like Maha-Shivaratri. We have to prepare both physically and mentally for that. The chanting could be a simple Om or Om Namah Shivaya, or Shiva's popular mantra is Maha-Mrityunjaya mantra. We'll tell the details of this toward the end of the talk. And the fifth one is Jagarana. Jagarana means is keep awake, vigil, throughout the night. I mean, to be aware to yourself. That is the meaning of that. To be aware and be in the company of the Lord Shiva. And also to do that, this is simply, if I sit, no, I will not be able to, we may get into sleepy mode. So that's why puja is done, abhisheka is done, all sevas are done to Lord. It's a participation, and at the end of it, you feel such blessed moments you get. One can feel it, one properly followed. And by the side of it, yes, there could be some people doing some kirtana in the place, or one itself can get may participate in that. Not that all can do archana, puja, and everything. You can finally to be vigil throughout the night, involving in some way or the other, putting your mind and full attention with that. These are the 6 steps of observance. Then, of this, most important in the whole six of them, Abhisheka, it is called Rudrabhisheka. And to do Rudrabhisheka, most of the things, quite often here nowadays, it is done only in the temples, because usually doing it at home. We used to do it earlier, but things have changed. To do that whole night, you need assistance of several people to do that. So, but important thing is, when you participate either in a mud center or a temple, one of the Jyotirlingas, if you are fortunate to go there, or whichever place it is, the attention should be given to you be in the mode of Shiva. That means try to get the qualities imbued, impinged on yourself with that purity, sense of purity to the puja. That's why a saying goes, Devo Bhutva Devam Archayet. You become God to do the puja of God. Or in the context of Rudra Abhisheka, Rudra Puja, it is called Narudram Bhutva Narudram Archayet. Unless you become a Rudra, you should not do the puja of Rudra. Because wrong effects could be there unless it's properly done, both in the procedure as well as chanting of the mantras or offerings and things like that. So, why should we do this puja? Why should we do the Rudrabhisheka puja and all this? It is mainly to burn away all these sins. Because the archana with appropriate Rudra mantras, and Rudra has mantras has two parts. I will come to that. One is Namakam, another is Chamakam. It has the power, tremendous power to burn away our sins. This you can feel very next day. Immediately you can feel that. In fact, one I should not boast of some years back. All around in our house, I did complete whole night puja with Rudra Abhishekam. It was so pleasing. Of course, it will have some effect on your body, but for that, mind is because so pure and so soothing. You will enjoy that state if you, with concentration, do it. And also with all that right chanting of the mantras. And here, as I told, there are two parts in Rudra chanting. One is Rudra Namaka. It is a very powerful Vedic hymn from Krishna Yajurveda, Taittiriya Samhita. It has 11 anuvakas. That means 11 sections or parts. Similarly, Chamaka also has 11 anuvakas. And these are mantras very dear to Shiva. Even if you cannot do rest of the 5 things like Archana, offering this and that, if you chant this Rudram and Namaka, I believe earlier, most of the families, traditional families, used to do this Rudra, Chamaka, Abhishek and Puja every day in their houses. We try to do it even today, but not in greater detail as it should be done. And Rudra has that 11 anuvakas contain so many names of Shiva. As an example of that, I will just chant maybe right now or these names I will chant. Only one sample of it so that you will know what it is. And similarly, and so that means we keep on giving salutation to all the various forms, deities, animals, elements. Recognize the infinite, all-pervasive power of Shiva, both good and bad. You should have to note that. Not that everything is good in the world and so we should follow it. Good and bad, all the things come in the Rudra Namaka. In Chamaka, similarly, comprising 11 Anuvakas, that enumerate 347 blessings to be requested or prayed for from Rudra, known for the patient of cha me, means give me this, give me this, give me this. One may ask, why should we ask God? If God knows everything, He knows what we want. Why should we ask Him? That is true. All of us know. See, if there is a child, small child, mother will be doing her work, maybe in kitchen or anywhere. She will not bother. And she may not know when child feels hungry. And mother knows child feels hungry and wants some milk only when the child cries. So that is where, and also the purpose, higher purpose of asking for things is not for one's own enjoyment. You will see that I will chant one small part of that. It is all for yajna. Yajna is a very important word that comes many places in almost all the Vedic mantras, including yajna in Bhagavad Gita. Yajno vai Vishnuho. That means through yajna means it is giving up, giving to. You'll see the further meaning of that. And Shudra Namakam used for Abhishekam as it is used as for Abhisheka, also for Japa, also for Homa and Yagnas. For that matter, right now, for the last 2 years, there is a vote taken from Sringeri Sharada Math to repeat this Rudram 1 lakh times. Many number of people have taken that vote. They have completed 60 lakhs so far. Another 2 years it will take for them to complete 1 lakh. That means each one will chant so many times in the group. How it is chanted, there is a sequence to do that. See, when you chant, and to chant Namaka and Chamaka, Namaka, as I told, it is the Rudra's names for which we are going down. Chamaka is the one where we pray for. Before starting, of course, there will be Jnana Mantra and Nyasa, etc. Will be there. Before you start one Anuvaka of Chamaka and complete 11 Anuvakas of Rudra. Like this, you have to chant 11 times Namakas, Rudram, and complete Chamaka one time. So this is called Ekadasha Rudra, Puja or chanting or japa. And if one person does it, is 11 times. If 11 people does it, 11 to 11 to 121 times. So then it becomes Ati Rudra, Maha-Rudra, like that. If 11 people repeating 11 times. This is what is called Ati Rudra Japa or Homa or corresponding Yajna also will be done. It done in many places. That is actually it is called Ratha, or you take a vow, tapas kind of thing. It is a holistic prayer for both material prosperity and spiritual liberation, finally. And what is meaning of Rudra word itself? Rudra, generally we understand, ferocious person. Hey, be careful, he's acting like Rudra. That is not so. It has meaning, Rodayati iti Rudraha, one who stops or prevents sufferings, or one who eliminates enemies. That's why the Rudra, first Namaka, that is the one actually repeated several times in various ways. Another meaning of Rudra is Rudayam Dravayati Rudraha. It seems Rudra weeps. Why he weeps? Seeing the sorrow of the people, he weeps. What can I do for it? That's why you see, if you have seen Sahasranama or some of these Shiva Namas, one word comes Ashutosh Shiva. Ashutosh Shiva means he simply melts. He does not consider whether he should give something for a person who is praying for, even without thinking he gives. Quite often you saw our some of the what he called Puranas and others. Bhasmasura, for example, typical example. He melts himself, his heart melts, he gives away. And he becomes himself some quite often helpless, goes to Brahma, Vishnu, and they will take care of the rest of things. But already given, okay, whatever he wanted, he has given. So easily you can satisfy him through this Namaka and Chamaka, and also corresponding Archana or Japa or whatever. So this point should be kept in mind. That's why Maha-Shivaratri is very, very important in this respect. Even other times also, not necessarily only Maha-Shivaratri time. So just to give a taste of, see, when we say Ram Dravayati Rudraha, the second meaning, remover of negative forces and obstacles in one's spiritual practices. That we should remember. And just to give a taste of this, how Rudra Namaka mantras look like or here, just I will chant the fifth Anuvaka of Namaka, wherein you get this Om Namah Shivaya mantra. I will just chant that. Is a small one. You need to get how, rhythmically, how it should be chanted also. Om Namah Somaya cha Rudraya cha Namastamraya cha Arunaya cha Namah Shangaya cha Pashupataye cha Namah Ugraya cha Bhimaya cha Namo Agre Vadhaya cha Dure Vadhaya cha Namo Hantre cha Haniyase cha Namo Vrukshebhyo Harikeshebhyo Namastaraya Namah Shambhave cha Mayobhave cha Namah Shankaraya cha Mayaskaraya cha Namah Shivaya cha Shivataraya cha Namastethya cha Kolyaya cha Namah Paryaya cha Varyaya cha Namah Pratarnaya cha Uttarnaya cha Namah Ataryaya cha Ladhyaya cha Namah Shashpyaya cha Fenyaya cha Namah Sikatyaya cha Pravashaya cha. Here you see, repeatedly you hear one letter cha cha. That means to say you are this plus this plus this plus this. Here you see so many words that in the ways in which Shiva is, that namaskara is given here. Somayacha, that means is the moon. Namastamrayacha, Shangayacha, Ugrayacha, Bhimayacha. And like this, finally, Vriksha, all the Vrikshas. Harikeshe, Bhinamastara, Shambhavecha, Shankarayacha, Om Namah Shivayacha, Shivatarayacha. All the forms, 11 Anuvakas, if we see, so many names we adore Mahadeva. And similarly, Chamaka, one sample just I will give, because that comes under, I think, 10th Anuvaka of Chamaka. Here you see how the prayer goes. गर्भाश्च मे वत्साश्च मे त्रविश्च मे त्रवीच मे जित्यवच्च मे जित्योही च मे पञ्चाविश्च मे पञ्चावीच मे त्रिवत्सश्च मे त्रिवत्सा च मे तुर्यवच्च मे तुर्योही च मे पष्टवाच्च मे पष्टौही च म उक्षा च मे वशा च म वृषभश्च मे वेहश्च मे नड्वाञ्च मे धेनुश्च म आयुर्यज्ञेन कल्पताम् प्राणो यज्ञेन कल्पताम् अपानो यज्ञेन कल्पताम् व्यानो यज्ञेन कल्पताम् चक्षुर्यज्ञेन कल्पता गश्रोत्रै यज्ञेन कल्पताम् मनो यज्ञेन कल्पताम् वाग्यज्ञेन कल्पताम् आत्मा यज्ञेन कल्पताम् यज्ञो यज्ञेन कल्पताम्. All these things I'm praying for is for what purpose? Yajno yajnena kalpatam. All my eyes have to be perfectly working. Prana should be strong. Mind should be concentrated. All walk, whatever we walk Shakti. These are all the Shaktis involved in different organs, both Dhanendriya and Karmendriya. And this should be, at the peak for performing yajna. And everything, whatever work we do throughout the day, throughout the year, month, and etc., should be done as yajna only. So these are the two samples of Namaka and Chamaka. Now, we look at the other sometimes we say Shiva has 5 faces. Panchayatana Shiva, Panchayashan. That means 5 Shiva Purana and Brahma Varta Purana, Brahma Varta Purana. Beyond, they move beyond narrative to define Shiva's Sarva Vyapitva, all pervasiveness nature. This pervasiveness is categorized through Panchamukha Shiva, 5 faces, which map the deity's influence across the directional and elemental axis of reality. See, you heard of Dakshinamurti. See, Dakshinamurti is another form of Shiva. Maybe I will come to that a little later. The very name is confusing because generally we think Dakshina direction is inauspicious. Why it is Shiva in Dakshina aspect, Murti aspect. We'll come to that. Now, the Panchamukha Shiva, as shown there, you have Sadyojata, Aghora, Vamadeva, Tatpurusha, Ishana. In fact, mantras are there corresponding to these 5 directions also. We make offerings to that. And Sadyojata, Purvamukha, East. And theological orientation and meaning of that is the creative aspect, self-born. Aghora is Panchamukhi, West, the transformative or non-terrible aspect. Vamadeva is Dakshinamukhi, South, preserving, benevolent aspect. Tatpurusha, Uttarabhimukha, North, the supreme being, cosmic or cosmic person. And Ishana is Urdhvamukha, they are all pervading or master of knowledge. Shiva is an indicator of knowledge in many, many senses. That's why any knowledge, who is the source of knowledge means it is Shiva. Because he's sattva predominant. We have 3 gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas. And sattva is the symbol of jnana. Because jnana means with sattva, you can't do wrong things. And sattva is daivi guna also. And there is a 17th chapter is chapter 17th or 16th or 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita is discuss all these three gunas in detail. And now if you see the meta, now we will give attention to something very interesting. We all do puja, abhisheka, not only on this Maha-Shivaratri, and many other occasions, maybe on some people do it every day also. In temple, it goes on every day. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, if you chapter 9, sloka number 26, there is one sloka which Lord says with respect to the puja. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhaktyupahrata ashnami prayetatmanaha. Whoever offers with pure devotion patra, leaf, pushpa, flower, phala, fruit, and jala, water. I accept such offerings from those who, with pure anthakarana. See, that is important. Prashname ayata prayetatmanaham tadaham bhakti upahrita bhavartya. Here, bhakti word is used twice in this shloka. Now, anthakarana. We'll come to that. Before that, one more thing you please observe in this. Nowhere it is said so much of flowers you have to give. Everything is in ekvachana. Patra is ekvachana, singular. Pushpa is singular. Phala is singular. And jala is, of course, any water. There's nothing like this much you have to give. That's why this is, see in that photo what you are seeing in front of you, only one flower is there, one patra is there, one fruit is there. A little water. Because we make so much fun. Or this particular flower should be given so much, a big garland, this, etc. And also, actually, what is important behind all these things is your anthakarana, with what mind, what feeling you offer it to God. Perhaps all of you know what is anthakarana means. Vedantic term it is. I hope all of you know it. Before we get into that detail, this particular statement of the Lord in the Gita is a mirror to pure devotion and is a profound philosophical meaning for a spiritual seeker. That's what we are going to see. These four ingredients are used generally in all the pujas with some variations because Shiva is supposed to be Bilva Priya. That is his patra. Whereas Tulsi is for Vishnu. And for Ganesh puja, you use what we call Hull Garike, green dress. But each deity is something different. Now, metaphorical interpretations, that means inner senses. The four offerings represent four inner senses at anthakarana of a human being. If most of you may know it, we have four inner beings called, it is called Sukshma Sharira also, Anthakarana also, Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara. See, for a spiritual seeker or a spiritual practitioner, sadhana ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, those who are doing sadhana, the whole of sadhana, it depends on how you control these four elements of anthakarana, how pure you keep it all the times. In fact, whole of yoga definition is with respect to this only. For example, in Gita, second chapter, it comes, Samatvam yoga uchyate. Not getting affected means what? Which is the one that is causing, for yoga definition itself is chitta vritti nirodha. See, manas has four segments. Mind, intellect, buddhi, mind, manas, buddhi, ego, ahankara, and chitta. And as you go from one end to this, mind to that chitta, you are closer to your Atman. And source of power for all these four chitta is nothing but the God or the Atman within you, within everybody. That's why that also corresponds to Panchakoshas. Of course, in Panchakosha, all the four are acting. I hope people know what are the Panch Kosha. Only I will just make it. You have Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Anandamaya Kosha, then Turiya state. Okay. That we are not trying to talk about the Vedanta here, but what is for the sadhaka, what is to be understood out of this particular sloka, Patram Pushpam Phalam from Gita, the God is given, because we are in the task of doing puja. So what is the meaning of that? That's why I picked up this sloka and thought we shall share with that. See, the word Patram, mind, which represents mind, etymologically refers to Pathati iti Patram in Sanskrit, that which falls. We all of us know, particularly now the season with we see the and also two aspects of this. One is falling, and also if you look at the some of the leaves in the morning or in the afternoon time, when the breeze is there, most of the patram, that means the leaves are fluttering. Fluttering is actually a technical term. It is flutter is one of the very important things in aeronautics. Aircraft get little flutter means it's gone. Okay, birds also flutter their wings. Naturally, this because it is open to air, all the leaves flutter. Whenever there is breeze, they flutter in their own direction. Second is after fluttering, they fall down also. Patati iti patram. And what is the mind? Now, if you look at this kind of mind, just as leaves flutter in the wind, human mind is restless and flickering, both. All the time it is. And offering a leaf symbolically means bringing the restless mind to a steady state through meditation and surrendering it to God. This is the purpose of giving a patra. In that, Bilpatra has its own medical aspect, as so much so the Tulsi also. Both are there. Second is flower, Pushpam. This represents the buddhi, the intellect, in every one of us. Pushpam means push iti pushpam. That means blooms. Nature of every flower is to bloom. It is expansion. That's why buddhi expansion, expansion of the intellect. Just as a flower blooms from a plant, intellect blooms from the mind. A flower has petals and fragrance. Similarly, the intellect possesses the petals of the five senses and the fragrance of past impressions, vasanas. Offering a flower symbolizes merging one's intellect into the divine, that is the God we worship at the moment, which is also the core essence of the Gayatri Mantra also. Why? Gayatri Mantra, what do you pray for? Dhiyo yona prachodayat. Everybody has to pray this both the times or three times in a day. Meditate on that. Dhiyo yona prachodayat. Dhi is nothing but buddhi. This is the second one. So we have seen mind, the manas, that is the leaf, intellect, the buddhi, represented by flower. Both has to be given to God. Third one, fruit, phalam, represents ahankara, is the anthakarna, is the ego. Phalam refers to phalati, phalati, phalati iti phalam, state of ripening. Any flower, any phala, it a fruit, ripening is its end nature, end aspect. In human experience, the ego is the ripened product that arises from the intellect. Just as a fruit becomes sweet when it ripens, the article suggests that this saying one's inner state should transform into egolessness, nirahankara state, which is the true fruit of the to be offered to God. So this is always feeling is like you think of Hanuman. When you look at, have the image in front of you, Sita Lakshmana, and where is Hanuman sitting? At the feet of God to do his work anytime. He has nothing else in his mind. So that mind should be placed in the form of surrender. All surrender it is. Completely Sharanagati. So this is the third aspect, that is fruit, leaf, patram, pushpam, phalam. Then comes toyam, water. Water is representative of memory or consciousness. Chitta. Toyam means tayate palayati iti toyam. That which sustains or protects. See, water is the fundamental thing in the whole of these four elements you are seeing. Water is the fundamental basis of life and the medium through which the sun is reflected. Similarly, chitta, the consciousness or memory, is the base for the development of the intellect and the senses. Adi Shankara actually says that one should perform an abhisheka, ritual bathing of gods, which is linga or any deity, to God using the pure water of chitta. We will see that in the next, maybe this year, next what I'm going to touch upon is what is called, with respect to this puja, some of the yatrastalas, kshetras, will come to that. And here, when a devotee offers their mind, leaf, flower, intellect, fruit, ego, and consciousness or water, with a pure heart and total surrender to God, they will undoubtedly achieve God realization. This is the summary of this shloka from Bhagavad Gita, which is applicable to any form of puja. So this internal sacrifice is the ultimate special meaning hidden within this famous verse, which is applicable to all our practices. Now, when we say we have what we call Dvadasha Jyotirlingas. Of that, the most profound and old one is Kashi, Varanasi. And Shankaracharya has written beautiful 5 stanza, what is called Kashi Panchaka. If you read and practice that in meditation, you don't have to go to any Kashi because you yourself turn to Kashi. And all that elements which are the sanctifying things are there in Kashi are within you. So beautiful it is. I thought this just as I was thinking of it, this came to mind. Okay, why not just take this? Because the right thing to do it. One most very important aspect of Kashi is, it is such a purifying kshetra for Shiva, one of the Jyotirlingas, and more than other Jyotirlingas and the kshetras. There is a profound, very strong belief in every Indian that whoever dies in Kashi will get immortality, will not be reborn. This is, and actually there is what is one, I know that read about it also, in Kashi there is one place called Mukti Dham. People who want to die, they are allowed to go there. And there are some experts who decide by which time this person is going to die. Is it 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month? Like that, before admitting that person. And they stay there only to die. Because the faith is so strong. Even so many sadhus, even our Ramakrishna mission sadhus are staying. I know some 4 or 5 people who have gone there to Kashi. They're all 80 plus. They don't want to come out of the Kashi because they may die the moment they come. Such is the belief, the Kashi and its importance also. And that Muktidama is there allowed whoever wants to come, stay there and die. And in that article which I read, interestingly, at that moment, the manager of that Mukti Dham narrates, so far I have seen 12,500 deaths. He has handled 12,500 devotees who have come to die and they have died. This is only to emphasize how important is the place, particularly Manikarnika Ghat. This is another thing. Manikarnika Ghat's meaning is, Karnika means earring. All of us know the Dakshayani, that yagna, where she gave up her body in yoga. That happened in Kankal near Hardwar, where Ganges flows. Shiva could not bear this incident. He became very angry. He goes and picks up the body, burning body, And first dip he puts in that Kankal Ganga there itself. Then he goes around India. And as he went, her body's different parts fell in different places. They are called actually, what is it called? Shakti Pitas. There are 52 Shakti Pitas. And the Manikarnika Ghat is the one where the Karnika part, this what earrings fell in that place. And also she blessed that whoever, the cremation takes place, whichever the dead body will not be reborn. And for this, Sri Ramakrishna, when he visited Kashi, he had a vision when he went to near Manikarnika Ghat in a boat. Suddenly, he got into a trance. Then he kept on talking and seeing, explaining how Shiva is, every body is coming and he's, first Parvati comes there. She cleans up the internal, that is what we just now discussed as Anthakarana. She cleans up, purifies that. Then Shiva comes and gives that Ramanama Tarak Mantra in the ears of the left ear. They say, I don't know why it is left ear of the body. That body then only goes for burning. So this is the importance and the very great importance of the Kashi. Keeping this in mind apart from Shiva himself there, let us not take into our mind anything about political things. And that is that's the moment just you go and sit in that place, you don't have to do anything, no puja, no abhisheka, your mind changes. And you go and have a dip in Ganga, you have further changes. And if you stay there, you will have a different, in 4 or 5 days, you will see your internal changes, how they start coming. It's all referred to that so-called. That means you yourself become a Kashi in that. Actually, this Kashi Panchaka is telling the same thing here. I have picked up only one sloka because I don't know how much time already covered. And I've left with, let me at least just touch up this. Kashi means you are Atman. You are Atman. Kashi Kshetram Shariram Tribhuvana Janani Vyapini Dhyana Ganga Bhakti Shraddha Gayeyam Ija Guru Charana Dhyana Yoga Prayaga. Here Sri Shankaracharya is taking Kashi as your body and goes through Kashi with the Tribhuvana Janani Ganga, Gaya, Shraddha, then Nija Guru, Charana Dhyanam, Prayaga, Vishwesho Ayam Turiyaha, the fourth state of being. I mean, that is of the internal expansion. Sakala Jana, Manas Sakshi Bhuto, Antaratma, Dehe Sarvam Madiye, Yadi Vasati, Punastirtha Manya Manyat Kimasti. Shankaracharya is asking, if you can identify yourself with Antaryami Shiva, who is never yourself, Sakshi Bhuta, Shiva is Sakshi Bhuta, and that is Vishweshwara, Turiya state, then Kashi Kshetra, your Sharira itself is Kashi Kshetra, in which Tribhuvana Janani Vyapini Ganga is flowing, your consciousness is flowing. Shraddha Gaya, in Gaya you have the Shraddha, Nija Guru, Charana Dhyana Yoga, Prayaga, Vishweshwaro Ayam Turiyam. That means in summary, Kashi is identified as awareness, absolute Atman. The sources provide symbolic interpretation of its geography. Manikarnika Ghat represents the quietude of mind and the negation of body identification, because that is where bodies are burnt, while the Ganges symbolize the flow of knowledge and waking consciousness. Other sites like Gaya and Prayaga represent faith and communion of meditation. So similarly, there are other slokas in Kashi. I will not touch that. That is, they are similar to Dakshinamurti Stotra, Manasva, Manasvala, with that. And these are some of the points. And lastly, being the question comes, how do we, apart from this Shivaratri period, how do we think of Shiva and be in that mode? The 1 week is all right, 1 day, okay, it's all right. Is there something where we can't do, if in the present day condition, we can't do Abhisheka, we can't do Puja, all those things? Maybe one's body conditions, etc. There is what is called Shiva Manasa Puja Krama. Very simple. Wherever you are, in whatever condition you are, you don't need any physical items to do puja and be in the presence of Shiva or become Shiva yourself. That is what is actually Manasa, Shiva Manasa Puja. It contains 4-5 slokas. Interestingly, for information, Sringeri Jagadguru, 34th Pontiff, Jagadguru Chandrasekhar Bharati, throughout his life he did only Manas Puja, Shiva Manas Puja using me. Even before becoming sannyasi until the end. So that means you can understand the efficacy of this. And I'm not going to details of all the slokas, only with concluding prayer, I'll tell you that. See, whatever we are working, we are all busy in the worldly sense. You may be working in different environment, and even if you are a retired person, this or that, whatever the conditions, young or old, we should have a particular attitude of doing the work. And remembering God, surrendering to God. This is what is said in Gita also. Surrender is the Sarvadharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam, etc. So many shlokas are there. Here, what is the attitude we should have towards Shiva and Shiva Parvati, Shiva Shakti, as we do the daily work? Atma Tvam Giriyamatihi Sahachara Prana Shariram Gruham Pujate Vishayopabogarachana Nidra Samadhi Sthitihi. You tell only this. Oh my God, I am Atma Tvam Girijamati. You are Atma, my Atma. That means you are who inside me. My Matihi means my mind is Girijamatihi. And who are my friends? Sahacharaha Pranaha Shariram Gruham. Sharira is Gruham. In that, the Sahacharas, my accompaniment, my companions are Prana. Gruham Pujate Vishayopabhogarachana. Whatever I do in work from morning till evening, whether office work, eating, anything that I do, help others, they are all Vishayopabhogana or Puja. Nidra Samadhi Sthiti. And whatever I talk, that becomes the offering. And Nidra Samadhi Sthiti. I cannot do anything other than this. That means giving up ourselves to God, in this case, Shiva and Parvati. Sanchara Padayoha Pradakshina Vidhi. Well, if I have not done, Pradakshina, Namaskara, wherever you walk, think that you are going around God. Stotrani Sarvagiro. Whatever I talk is the stotra of God. Because there's no word, no sound which is not coming from God. Everything comes from God. Yajat karma karomi tattadakhilam shambho tavaradhanam. This attitude we should have. If possible, if required, you repeat it several times in the day, before starting, in the middle, and in the end. Atma tvam girijamatihi sahachara prana shariram gruham pujate vishayopabogarachana nidra samadhi sthitihi sanchara padayoh pradakshina vidhi stotrani sarvagiro yadyat karma karomi tattadakilam shambho tavaradhanam. This is my aradhana, okay, Shiva. Then what? Karachana Kritam va. Then you make arpana to Shiva. Karacharana Kritam va kayajamma कर्मजम्मा श्रवणनयजन्मा मानसम्मा पराधम विहितम अहितम्मा सर्वमेतत्क्षमस्व जय जय करुणाब्धे श्री महादेव. So with this two slokas and You remember that throughout the day, do whatever work you do with attitude of surrender and submission. You will be able to attain a peace of mind, quietude of mind. At the end of it, he himself will take care of it. Now, a few things we have picked up for this 1 hour discussion. It is the least that what we could do, rather the best we could do in this. That's again, is the Shiva Mahimna Stotra concludes telling that, in the beginning we saw that we take the ink and part as word, Samudra, etc. Saraswati keeps writing, she cannot be complete at any time. So and also forms of God, various forms of Shiva. For all that, we should submit it to God as a submission. Tava tattvam na janami, kidrishosi maheshwara. I don't know your tattva, how I should worship. Then whatever form you come also, I don't know. Because we are worshipping in that linga form. What is Shiva's form? See here, one point, maybe I should have told in the beginning itself, a small incident. In the sense, some couple of years back, I went to a Shiva temple in the night just to have Shiva darshan. I was standing in queue. One young couple was standing behind me, father and two children, both were sons. And one of them asked, Papa, what is that today special about Shiva? We have come to Shiva temple. Father says, it is birthday of Shiva. Then immediately the other child says, oh, that means you are getting chocolate inside. Then you see here, if that is the kind of ideas you give for God, for the children, several questions rises there in the minds of children. Birthday means what date? Where he was born? Which parents he was born? What is his age now? That means we had to go beyond this and give them the right understanding, children. When we go inside this Shivalinga, nobody is there. So then I took those parents aside and spent some 15 minutes to explain. This should be like this. You understand first, read something, then tell the children correctly. Anyway, this is besides the point. So that being this one, what we should, the Shumamna Stotra concludes, Tava tattvam na janami, kidrishosi maheshwara, yadrishosi mahadeva, sadrushaya namo namah. Whatever form you are going to be also. In all those forms, I bow down to you, take refuge in you. Please take care of me. Hara Namo Parvataye, Hara Hara Mahadev. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Yes, so thank you, Vishwanath, for your insightful talk. If there are any questions, I would invite people to please ask. So before anyone else asks, maybe I'll ask the first one. Like I have heard many sadhus say, even many people say that, dying in Kashi is like you are going to get mukti no matter whatever you have done, whether you have committed 1,000 sins. If somehow you die in Kashi, that thing is not, even if you don't have jnanam. So isn't it a little antithesis to our whatever we study from, or all this sadhana, all this knowledge, all this tapas that many people and try to do, then what is the point of it if there is such a small shortcut that somebody can take?
Yeah, that is generally a question asked by many people. First thing is see, in the spiritual life, what is called as Shraddha and Bhakti. Many people put the same point. If you have just both Bhakti, how can you realize? Those who follow the Gnana Marga, Realization is only through Gnana, they argue. So without Gnana, how can you? Does it mean that other paths are not valid? Bhakta cannot get realization. Here comes the Shraddha and Bhakti. He fully believes that I am going to be redeemed in the next, either in the next life, I have no next life. So that when it comes to next life, here the see, all our scriptures are full of this discussion. You take for Upanishads like Katha Upanishad. Whole Upanishad deals with life after death. Then can anybody, any scripture tell, yes, what you are going to do? Once, if he has that bhakti and shraddha, and he lives the rest of his life, maybe short life in Kashi, he would, maybe his internal, the transformation would have come by before he dies there, because the very place that is like that. It is going to, just now what we saw, that not necessarily gnana. Gnana means what it is, establishing in the knowledge that I am Atman. To become a Brahman is different. That means if his antaranga is, that means that Sukshma Sharira is purely, completely purified by the presence of the Lord and the place, he gets equipped for that. Maybe next life he will be just born and immediately it's not that. But he's in the right path. Instead of going somewhere else to this old age home, this home, that home, all those decisions nowadays, or I leave myself for everything. Instead of that, his full mind is given, fully surrendered. It's going and living in that place is not an easy thing it is. If you go and see that, what kind of difficulties they go through, that itself will make them prepared for that. Plus, you have the presence and the blessings of grace of God there. Exactly, yes, whether it's right or not, you bringing a karma theory or like shloka of Bhagavad Gita, Uttare, Atmanat, Manam, and all those things. Have full faith. Yes, you have full faith, then go and stay there. Why so many learned sadhus are going and staying there? Who teach, even there, from there also they teach Upanishads, Brahma Sutras. So we should take that view perhaps.
Yes, Gaurav ji, you have a question.
Pranam, first of all, I want to thank you for such a phenomenal satsang. I really, really got so many insights from here. So, coming to my question. So, my question is, sir, you talked about that before Maha-Shivaratri, we have to chant the mantras of Lord Shiva, Panchakshari mantra and Mahamrityunjaya mantra. So, I wanted to ask you that what about the mantra, what about Diksha and relation of Diksha for mantras of Shiva? Is it necessary? Is it not necessary? Will it bear fruits without Diksha if one chants those mantras? Or will it not bear fruits? Thank you.
See, for this one Namah Shivaya or Trambakayi Jamahe, it is not, there is no need for any Diksha, number one. Your self-determination and faith in Lord Shiva and in the mantra. But one condition is, you should pronounce it properly. On Namah Shivaya, there is no problem. Whereas when you go to this Trambakayi Jamahe, it is with Swara. And maybe you can learn with somebody. It is a small mantra. You learn from somebody to pronounce it properly and have full faith and keep going. And remember, this Mahamrityunjaya mantra, wrongly understood as we are praying for not to postpone the death. No, it's not the postpone death or death. It is only Trambakani Jamahe, Sugandhim, Pushtivardhanam, Urvarukameva Bandhanat. Urva means it is cucumber. Cucumber, when it separates from the stem, it seems so delicate. it separates. In any form, no form, it hurts the plant. Even there is no, it is such a silent thing. That means from body, yes, like let me just separate from that. That means without any pain is what it means. Anayasena maranam vina dainena jivanam dehi me krupaya shambho tava bhakti. That's the prayer of everybody. Anayasena maranam. Everybody wants to die without any pain. So more than that, actually, vina dainena jivanam in the present condition is more important. You should not be thrown into the hands of somebody who does not care for you. There is no love in that. You may spend money. What is happening in most of the places now? So Vina Dainya, you are in that Dainya mood. This means you have to give yourself to that. Instead of giving to a human body, let us give it to God. You take care of my youth. You be my savior in the last days of my life. In other words, what? Let my mind be full of you. Let me live in you, so that there is no pain or suffering of the death.
One more humble request, if you can find time from your busy schedule in times to come, and of course coordinate with Ashish ji, if you can take satsang of Sri Rudram, because you beautifully expounded on it today. I wanted to hear more about Sri Rudram and its deeper meaning, because it is difficult to find its good quality satsang on YouTube or anywhere. So I haven't heard any good speaker. So if you can find time.
Now let us see that. Of course, it's a tough one. It has a very deep meaning. Every mantra has a deeper meaning. One day thing is chanting, teaching chanting. I don't want to do it online because this is Rudram is not the one to start with. You have to learn some basic suktas and other things. Unless you properly, the swara, dirgha, hasasva, and other things get set. Many people do a lot of mistakes that, Ved mantra, if it is not properly chanted with the swara, it does not give you the right result, and also it may give wrong results also. So we will be doing injustice to the scripture itself. Whereas meaning, yes, we can discuss in general. That can be done in both Namaka and Chamaka and how it is done. It's not necessarily every mantra we go through, but in some form we can do that.
Okay, if there is any other question, please go ahead. Otherwise, okay, so before we close, I would like to just maybe give me 1 minute just to show you how you can do the Om Namah Shivaya practice on Dhyan app. So if you
One important one point I forgot to mention was
yeah.
This my preparation for this is one wonderful experience for me. This today's talk. Why is I just used my notes prepared some 15-20 years back in my handwriting, that too in Kannada, and I did not type a single word to prepare the subject matter for today's discussion. And computer, I did not type a single word. Everything done up to this picture, producing pictures and PowerPoint. Everything was done through AI. So I have got an excellent assistance. And yeah, because this I should emphasize because Ashish is an exponent of AI himself. Such techniques and tools are there now. And done is maybe 2-3 hours time.
So I was showing that how we can do it in Dhyanap. So we have, if we go to that front page, we have the challenges. I think one challenge is right now running this Maharudra Sadhana by Abhijit and their team, and they have been doing phenomenally well. I think they have completed more than 50-60 hours of sadhana on this. We have another sadhana, Shivaratri Sadhana challenge, which I would suggest that if those who are interested in this call can join. And in this, I have actually today requested Vishwanath to record Om Namah Shivaya mantra in his own voice. So we have added that to this practice. So if you go there, you can actually select the type of mala, length of mala, and number of rounds that you want to do. And then if you start the session, you'll be able to do this mantra chanting. So if you tap the screen, you'll see that you will hear his voice.
Namah
I don't know if you
Shivaya. Om Namah
So you
Shivaya.
can continue the mantra sadhana along with that
Om
voice,
Namah
or if you don't want that,
Shivaya.
then you can also do silently by muting this mantra and then just going on, chanting. And it will also record, okay, how many mantras you're doing and how many mantras are getting contributed to the collective sadhana that we all are doing through that mantra challenge. Similarly, in the app, we have a lot of other Shiva related mantras and shlokas. So if you go inside Kirtan and you search for Shiva, or if you go inside Kirtan and or shloka and search for Shiva, you will find a lot of content. Okay. There is one more hand raised. I will. Nishchit ji, please go ahead.
Yes, Namaste Vishwanath ji. It was a wonderful talk.
Namaste.
I had a question.
Nishchit, okay, our group, okay, another group, right.
Hello,
Tell
sir.
me, Nishchit.
Yes. So we talk about, you talked so much about Kashi and the connection between Shiva and Kashi. Can you hear me, sir?
Repeat.
Yeah. You were talking about Kashi a lot in the connection to Shiva, and Kashi is so auspicious and so many benefits about the place itself, its spiritual significance and all that. And again, Kashi is considered as the abode of Shiva. Then there is also Arunachala in Tiruvannamalai, which is considered Shiva himself. So can you little bit about Arunachala and the significance the significance of Arunachala with Shiva? Because there's one quote which says that Arunachala is Shiva himself. Like Kashi is the abode of Shiva, whereas Arunachala is Shiva himself. What do you mean by Arunachala is Shiva himself?
See, that Kashi, that first sloka which I chanted, is that what did it say? Which is Kashi? Kashi is yourself. That the whole body, your body itself is, you are.
Yes.
See, what is the concluding line of that Kashi? You don't have, why you should do other kshetra when you are the Shiva, you are the Kashi, you are. See that last line, did you notice? Vishwesho ayam turiyaha. This is, are you hearing?
Yes, I can hear you, sir. I can hear you. But this the audio. I can hear you, sir, but your audio is breaking a little.
Audio is not clear. 1 minute, he's adjusting. Hello, now are you hearing now?
Yes, sir, it's clear. Please go on, sir.
See, that referring back to that shloka, it starts itself with Kashi Kshetram Shariram. Kashi is identified as awareness, absolute Atman. Kshetra. And Kshetram Shariram Tribhuvana Janani Vyapini Dhyana Ganga. Bhakti Shraddhaya Gayeyam Nija Guru. Charana Dhyana Yoga Prayaga. He takes all the three, Gaya, Kashi, and this one, another Prayaga. Last sentence you see, Vishwapuriyaha Sakala Jana Manas Sakshi Bhuto अंतरात्मा देहे सर्वं मदीये यदि वसति पुनस्तीर्थम अन्य किमस्ति. That will the last sentence. I agree with the translation of that. Are you hearing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I
Crystal?
can. Yes, sir.
See, while the Ganges civilization, okay, other things. Now, other sites like Gaia and probably represent faith and commodity. Okay, the world is presented as a mental projection, Mano Vilasa. You know that we are reading that Dakshinamurti Stotra.
Yes, correct.
Unreal, like a movie projected by the light. Exactly same sentence. They are identical actually. Dakshinamurti Stotra and Kashi Pachka are identical. Bondage arises from mistakenly identifying with the five sheaths, koshas. To achieve liberation, one must become a detached witness, sakshi to the mind. Who is the sakshi? Realizing their true nature as Lord Shiva, the inner ruler residing in every heart. Through yoga and meditation on the Agna Chakra, the seeker reaches the fourth state, Turiya. Ultimately, the true pilgrimage is discovery of peace and happiness within one's own heart. Neither Arunachala nor Kashi.
Beautiful.
This is within a verse.
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you, sir. I think
Is it clear?
I got my answer. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Comes to our regular.
Okay.
Is it closing? Close.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining this wonderful talk by Vishwanath ji. We thank him for his giving his time to us. I'll conclude this session by a Shanti mantra. And we will continue with similar sessions maybe every Sunday. We'll keep you notified if you join our WhatsApp group or download Dhyana. There also, we keep updating our events. So we'll close with this mantra. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.